Hey, this is Jeremy, and it's time to talk about Materialists.
Materialists.
And I am a material girl.
All right, I'm back. Quality movies are starting to come out again. It's been really rough since the Oscars, but hopefully I'll be able to do more videos more regularly now. So I saw Materialists last night with a sold-out crowd at AMC Forum. Materialists is a new film by Celine Song, who famously directed Past Lives from 2 years ago. She wrote and directed this movie as well as Past Lives. It stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, Zoe Winters, Marin Ireland, and Meryl Streep's daughter, Louisa Jacobson. The story follows Lucy, who is a professional matchmaker, played by Dakota Johnson. She starts dating Pedro Pascal, who seems like a match on paper, after meeting him at a wedding of one of her clients. But then her ex-boyfriend, Chris Evans, is also catering that wedding. So they sort of link up again after not seeing each other for a while. I thought the film was good, very entertaining. It's like an hour and 50 minutes, but you don't feel the length at all, except for like the 5 endings. For like the last 25 minutes, like you're like, oh, okay, I guess this is it. This is the final scene. And then boom, something else happens, or they go somewhere else. But yeah, the actual ending is cute as well. It's a really conventional film. We've seen all these beats before, and there's nothing really new here. What's fun about the movie is really like the script and the dialogue, even though some scenes go on for a bit longer than they should, and Dakota Johnson sometimes seems to struggle to like appear human with some of this dialogue, but it's pretty good overall. Although there's one flashback scene that takes place in the middle of a street in New York City, where the dialogue is like atrocious and just so not realistic. It really like, it feels off from the rest of the movie. I don't know what it is about this scene. I think they're just trying to cram too much information into this flashback scene, but all like the present day stuff works. I ended up really liking Celine's last movie, Past Lives, overall. I've only seen it once, but like I remember at the beginning, there was like some Zoom stuff at the beginning, and that the dialogue for that felt so weird to me. Like it felt like a bad like Netflix movie, but then it got good, and I liked the rest of it. But here, the whole matchmaker thing feels a bit outdated. I know these things still exist, but with the whole online dating thing, and like it feels like a bit old school. And I know, like I heard that Celine actually was a matchmaker at one point, so this is like from her actual life. I mean, not the whole story, but just that world. But here, like from the beginning, you can kind of see what's going to happen in the end. Then you're like, oh, is she going to like subvert the expectation? But then she doesn't. So it just feels like we've seen this before. But then it's also unconventional in the sense that based on the marketing and the poster and everything, you're kind of expecting a love triangle for the men to kind of fight for Dakota Johnson's love. But that's not really what happens. The two guys barely interact with each other, so there's no real competition going on. The movie, like it's more about her and financial classes, and male height is a big thing in this movie. The movie is obsessed with height more than anything I've ever seen, which makes sense because like in the dating game, people are actually obsessed with height. I've never been that way. It's something I never really understood because it doesn't matter to me at all. It's not something I look for like on a dating profile or even something I ask people. I really love my short kings, and I actually think really tall people are kind of awkward. Like they move bizarrely and they can't dance because they're too tall. Taylor Swift is a good example of this. Performance-wise, Dakota Johnson is one of those actresses who's exciting to watch because you never really know what you're going to get. You can get an absolutely terrible performance like Madame Web. Apparently, I've never seen it. Or you can get an amazing one like The Lost Daughter or A Bigger Splash. Here, it's a bit of both. It works overall, but she's the main character, so you're supposed to kind of feel for her. But she ends up looking more like someone who's like telegraphing emotion, but who's never really felt any real emotions herself, which as a sociopath I can relate to, but it creates this weird emotional disconnect in the movie. Pedro Pascal, who is a phenomenon I just don't understand. From the work that I've seen, he's actually a great actor. This film actually might be like the least impressing performance I've ever seen him give. But I just kind of like don't find him attractive. So I don't like the charm thing doesn't work for me. He seems like a really cool guy, and like I think we could be great friends, but I'm just not in love with him. So I don't understand what all the fuss is about. And him and Dakota have like no chemistry at all. Can gay men have chemistry with women on screen? Who knows? Not me. Chris Evans is actually the MVP of this movie. He hits all the right emotional beats, and you really connect with him. He doesn't have much to do in the beginning. And I haven't seen him in many things. Like, I don't do Marvel, so I haven't seen him as Captain America. Like, from what I can, like, Knives Out, I guess, and Not Another Teen Movie from like 20 years ago. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with him here. What I kind of liked most, and it's just like a small thing, but is the early scenes of awkwardness between Dakota and Chris. I think because personally, like, I haven't seen my ex-husband in 5 years. Basically, since we signed the divorce papers, we never saw each other again, even though we live in the same city. And I've always been curious how that would play out, like when and if we ever run into each other again. Like, is it going to be like a happy feeling or super awkward, or will it feel familiar? Will some of the good or the bad emotions come rushing back, or will it just feel like two complete strangers meeting? Like, who knows? I think once that day actually happens for me, this won't be something that I find interesting in movies and TV anymore. But for now, it has sort of this like weird mystery to it. So it's kind of intriguing and exciting, and when I see that on screen. There's also like a weird, surprisingly dark subplot in this movie that was kind of took me by surprise. I don't think it throws off the movie like tonally, but it's definitely jarring, giving like the lightness of the film. In terms of like awards and stuff, like I don't think this movie is gonna get much traction. I think the only chance it could have could be maybe a screenplay, but I don't think A24 is positioning it that way at this time, so who knows. Overall, a fun time at the movies. I was seated next to four late teen girls who were like ugly crying by the end of the movie, and it was so cute to see. But it was a bit sad as well because the men of their generation have all got like rotten brains because of the internet, so who knows if these girls are ever going to know what it feels like to be loved. I hope they do, but who knows. So would I recommend Materialist? Yes. Go see it. There's nothing else in theaters right now, so you might as well. And yeah, see you next time.
I wasn't really thinking 30s.